by the title, we are not happy. Although Luke,
I'm mainly the one who's upset.
Yeah, Luke here is mainly you took the words right out of my mouth. Luke is upset.
Oh, I'm very upset
about something pertaining to hockey, even though his puck club is absolutely just killing it right now.
Yes, though they almost didn't kill it the other day because of a
Here we go.
Because of officials named Kevin Pollock
I'm being given the day off here.
And Brendan Blandina. Now, have you heard of the rule intend to blow the whistle?
Oh boy.
Have you? Have you heard it?
Yes, I
Okay.
I have.
You know, I've only ever seen it called in Ranger games. I've never seen it.
It's been called in Devils games plenty of times. I can tell you this from firsthand experience. Intent to blow the whistle has gotten the Devils a couple times.
Okay,
it's a stupid rule.
Can we agree it's a stupid rule?
Yeah, it is a stupid rule. But I'm saying you're not the only team that's gotten affected by it.
I'm about to lose my mind because the Rangers were down 3-2, and then, well, they appeared to have scored, but then after the longest 5 to 7 minutes reviews I've ever seen in my life, they say that the play was stopped, even though they called a frozen puck when it was in the net. After they took 5 minutes to review, when they had clear evidence that it was in the net before they blew the whistle. Well, and it was clearly in the net, and for some reason they decided, oh wait, no, it can't count. We were totally intending the whistle. Except it took a good 5 seconds before they even decided to blow any whistle. Now, how can you also now another situation? How can you intend to blow the whistle if you don't blow the whistle? The human element is apparently the biggest thing in officiating hockey. Like here, the rule states right here.
You did research.
As there is a human factor involved in blowing the whistle to stop the play, referees may deem the play to be stopped slightly prior to the whistle actually being blown. The fact that the puck may came loose or cross the goal line prior to the sound of the whistle has no bearing if the referee has ruled that the play has been stopped prior to this happening. Officer, I was going 120 miles on a 25-mile-hour section, but you gotta understand there was a human element to when I was decided to stop on the brakes. You gotta understand that. What the hell, man? The NHL.
Luke, I implore you. Say what's on your mind, but don't curse. That is a very important part here because I can feel it coming.
That's the worst it's gonna get.
We want to no. I want it to get worse. No, I want it to get worse. Because this is great content. This is great, dude. Keep it going.
Yeah, because the referees don't face any punishment in their union. You know, we have Angel Hernandez. We say about Angel Hernandez is the worst umpire. We have 4 of those on a night. Lately, places in the NHL, there's 4 of those multiplying by 4. They can't see anything. What's clearly in front of them? You can see the referees right behind the net in the replays. When you see the puck's in the net, you can clearly see it. Except for Kevin Pollock. It just baffles me how terrible they are at their job. They are paid to watch hockey games. The referees are the worst in the NHL, and they say, and Gary Bettman will say this is the best. Really, this is the best you can do. Wes McCauley, who didn't referee this game, but my goodness, he is the worst of the worst.
Oh boy, Wes McCauley.
He is the worst of the worst.
When you're an official in any sport and people know your name, that's a bad thing. That's a very bad thing when people know your name as an official.
And when the fans know the rules better than your refs. Imagine being paid 6 figures to do nothing and watch hockey games. That's what I should be doing. What have I been doing wrong? I just.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, like in our career. Like that's why we're majoring in what we're majoring in.
Except we be right most of the time. Because we have, I'm overqualified to be an NHL referee because I have eyes. I have functioning eyes. It's just I'm like losing my mind that they are so bad at their jobs. The simplest of things, what's right in front of them. And it took them a good fight. They didn't even, before they even attempted to blow the whistle, the puck was in the net. Before any attempt was made, I mind you. Which just boils me because I've seen that call against the Rangers a lot. I'm like legit, and the fact it took 5 minutes. Usually, when a review takes a long time, it's a good thing because they're looking at trying to overturn it. But no, it turns out no. The puck was frozen. A puck was frozen,
like the playing surface. Like the playing surface, it's frozen.
It was a frozen puck when it was in the net. When you could see. Hold on, can I like?
I bet you've shown me this picture.
This picture right here. This is a frozen puck. It was in the net. It was in the net. And the referee's waving up no goal, like he doesn't see what's right in front of him.
The Rangers won this game, by the way.
Yeah, in spite of everything, they didn't call penalties on us because we were calling them out on their.
Yeah. Good.
The Rangers were calling them out, and they were not calling penalties or penalties correctly. The Blue Jackets were hooking and slashing every time they were in the offensive zone.
But you know what? Those are the types of games that real winning teams win. Even when things are going against them, a team like the Rangers should, in spite of things working against them.
Collusion.
They
I'm like
should.
legit surprised. I'm legit surprised Toronto didn't, I'm legit surprised Toronto didn't disallow Henrik Lundqvist as a Hall of Fame induction this weekend too on the process. Legit surprised.
Oh my god, dude!
It would have. It would have been poetic.
The league.
And I might add, the Rangers are 0-for-6 in video reviews this year.
All I'll say is that it is a bit far-fetched of an argument to make that the NHL would want their original six, big market, billion-dollar organization to lose. Which is it?
Which is it? That we get all the calls, or we're this terrible franchise. Which is it, Devils fan? Which is it? You can't be both. It can't be both.
You guys haven't won a Stanley Cup since.
Oh man! Wow, man! The NHL wants us to win. Then, how about that?
You're losing it in spot. I'm not saying the NHL is making an effort to help you win. I'm saying they're not making an effort against you winning. No, you want to see a team that they really want to see win. They want to see the Toronto Maple Leafs do well, but you want to see a team who loses in spite of the league's efforts. The Leafs. I never want to hear a Leafs fan complain about like officiating against them ever again.
I mean that penalty that was not called on with Wes McCauley, that tripping penalty against Marchand to Timothy Liljegren that was not called, even though Wes McCauley was like 5 feet away from the play.
This is also Brad Marchand we're talking about.
He legit
there are certain players who also will do dirty things and just get away with it. And Brad Marchand like actually that's why I want the Devils to trade for Corey Perry. I want the Devils to trade for Corey Perry because he's a dirty player who will do dirty things. So nobody will cross-check Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes like 15 times a game. But he has enough respect around the league that he won't get called for it. Like Corey Perry, I can't remember the last time I saw Corey Perry take a penalty despite being, Corey Perry.
That immediately will go away once he dons the blue shirt.
Oh my god, dude.
If he should ever.
Like the finger pointing. The finger pointing.
I will also
dude, you guys had Henrik Lundqvist for nearly 20 years and you didn't win a thing with him.
Yeah, maybe they should have called goalie interference and at one point during the final.
Dude. Oh my god, dude. Here we go again.
What is goalie interference?
I don't know what goalie interference is. It's a league-wide thing, dude.
Man, and the people who were paid to know these things don't know it either. Brad Marchand also, I want to add, he's actually friends with all the referees.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't get called for anything.
Yeah, he blackmails them basically.
Yeah, he blackmails. Remember
but not actually blackmails.
Remember a few years ago when he licked Ryan Callahan's
Oh yeah, I remember
face?
that.
I feel like that was the strangest.
Oh my god, no! And they were making it a big deal, but when Sean Avery decides to be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do something like." Oh, wave my hand in front of the great Martin Brodeur.
3 Stanley Cups to Henrik Lundqvist, 0, by the way.
Oh man, but this whole play, he didn't even score on. By the way, he distracts Marty Brodeur and makes a whole mockery of being in front of the net. But then he scores in the following rush. But then the NHL decides, no, we gotta put a rule to this. We gotta do it overnight. I've never done anything overnight.
No, you are not seriously trying to make the argument right now that the NHL makes rule changes to benefit the Devils. The trap?
No, I'm not. No, it's the benefit. It's to the detriment of the Rangers, or maybe more specifically Sean Avery, who was a Ranger.
To be fair, Sean Avery did himself no favors. If Sean Avery was, not a pleasant.
If Sean Avery did what he did in 2008, or if Alex Ovechkin or Sidney Crosby did what Sean Avery did in 2008,
yeah, they would have
said and done nothing.
They would have done nothing. I agree with that.
People would be like, what a great strategy. But no, it's because Sean Avery, who has a bad reputation and is also a Ranger, is like, no, we got to make a rule overnight. We can't have this happening.
Mind you, maybe it was payback for the trapezoid. They literally, the NHL put in the trapezoid because Marty Brodeur was too good at playing.
Was it overnight?
Not overnight, but
okay, yeah. Thank you for proving my point.
Maybe it was an IOU. Maybe it was like they threw him a bone to maybe balance it out. Maybe Marty went to the league saying, "Hey, you got rid of the 2-line pass."
He also got rid of the visors.
Yeah, the 2 rules. Hey, 2 rules for eye for an eye, dude. Eye for an eye. Although I will say the 2-line pass being removed, I know for a fact it was because of the trap. Because the Devils were way too good at the trap and playing defense in the neutral zone, which for some reason nobody figured out how to do. Like, I don't know why. Like, everybody called out the trap. Meanwhile, it was like it's a basic defensive strategy. Like what? You put 4 guys in the neutral zone. And you could put 4 guys in the neutral zone because Marty Brodeur could play the puck the moment it was dumped in. Marty would literally just take the ball before the trapezoid, and even kind of after the trapezoid. He would go behind the net, or Marty would literally just, like, the pre-trapezoid, he would just go into the corner, and he'd literally start breakouts. That's what he would do. Like, Marty would literally start breakouts, and because he was so good at that, the NHL put in the trapezoid. And because the Devils were so good at the trap, the NHL eliminated the 2-line pass rule. And also, here's this. Before the Devils won the Stanley Cup, the NHL was trying to get them to move to Nashville. And the Devils, they literally couldn't move to Nashville because they won the Stanley Cup in 1995. And moving a cup-winning team is just a horrible idea. And then they ended up winning the cup in 2000 and then in 2003. And then they're just stuck there when Gary Bettman clearly doesn't want a third team in the New York metro area. The Devils have been a thorn in the league's side for years. So I don't want to hear a thing about your team being sort of not really liked by the league, because I think the Devils were the first fan base to boo Gary Bettman. Like, the Devils fans started the trend of booing Gary Bettman at the Stanley Cup presentation because Gary Bettman literally tried eliminating the Devils franchise before they won their first Stanley Cup.
We're going to have an episode of this.
Now, mind you, in 1994, where the Devils made it to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Final and took that game to double overtime. Now, I'm sure you want to talk about what happened in double overtime. I certainly don't.
Wait, 2012?
No, in 94.
Oh, 94.
Yeah, the Matto.
I didn't even know.
But dude, that was a great call, though.
I zoned out for
although that series doesn't really make me that mad.
Because you know what happens afterwards.
Yeah, because of what happened afterwards. The Rangers haven't won a cup since, and the Devils won.
They sold their soul for 94.
This one will last a lifetime.
I love Sam.
But why did Sam Rosen not? Sam Rosen put a curse.
He did put a curse on the Rangers.
But yeah,
it's great. It's a good call, but like, why? Why would you say that?
Isn't your brother convinced that?
Yes, he was born in in like 6 weeks before the Rangers won the cup.
And this one will last a lifetime. So your brother's convinced
yes,
that
yes,
like after he kicks it, the Rangers are gonna win.
He's quite convinced.
There are so many Yankee fans who were born in 2004 that think they're the curse.
You won a World Series since 2004.
I was 5.
Yeah, and you probably had a cognitive function of what it probably meant somewhat.
I didn't know. I didn't care about baseball at the time. I didn't care about sports at the time. I was blissfully ignorant.
Okay.
Dude, I am so jealous of people who like don't watch sports in a diehard way. I am jealous of people who aren't diehard. So like, do you ever just think about how like there are thousands of people around here? There are billions of people in the world who like spend a Sunday in the fall just like doing what they want and just having a perfectly stress-free Sunday.
As officiating officials, they get paid to do stuff wrong, and they don't get punished.
No, I'm talking about sports fans here.
I know.
Like on Sundays and like there are people out there who just have peaceful Sundays. Like I'm jealous of those people. I'm jealous. I'm more jealous of people.
When your team is bad, there's no point in watching them.
Oh no! I've hit the point in the year where I've let go of the Giants completely, and it's awesome because I can enjoy the rest of my Sundays. It's amazing. I've gotten really good at letting go of my sports teams whenever they're bad. Sure, I've had a lot of time to practice it, but the Giants, I can give up on a season by week 10. Like I could be in a perfectly fine mood after a Giant loss by this time of year.
Yep.
I don't even know what week of the NFL season. What is it like? We're coming in on week 12 because of Thanksgiving.
I think this week's on week 11.
Yeah, I think this coming week is week 12 because we're 2 and 8. Wait a second.
Yeah, this is.
I gotta think about the math. Wait. Yeah. No, never mind. I think
you did more thinking than referees do
when making a call. Refs. Yep. This is just the theme.
Yes.
And you're going to relate everything I say back to NHL refs.
Yes, because they suck.
Yes. Yeah, they do. I'm not denying that.
Makes me mad that they will decide big crucial moments and they have video review to help them right mistakes that they make and they still get it wrong. I'm going to keep going back to this. And this is the best that they can do. It's still not good enough.
Now, I'd like to see a bunch of beer league refs just ref an NHL game because those guys are fair.
Yeah.
Although granted, they let a lot more things slide though. Because in beer league, you probably have guys just like sucker punching each other, and then the refs are like, "Hey, walk it off, bud."
Well, I will say the Rangers did win that game in spite of everything because Alexis Lafreniere is here, and he's been a godsend for the Rangers so far this year.
This is my punishment for the 1 year of the Devils being good. There's always a catch. And the catch this year is that the Rangers are a wagon. They don't lose, and Alexis Lafreniere breaks out.
Alexis Lafreniere has more points than Connor McDavid.
Oh, God.
He does.
I know. It's true. And I hate it.
He's been so good this year.
Is this how it felt being a Ranger fan during Jack Hughes' breakout?
I didn't really care.
You didn't care? There's no way you didn't care.
Yeah, because my team was going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, true.
But that being said,
although you guys put a lot into the Jack Hughes being a bust narrative.
Some of us did.
It doesn't. No, you're not one of those. You're not a bad Ranger fan.
It doesn't bother me because
you're one of the Ranger fans I like.
It just doesn't bother me that much because the Rangers were going to pick whoever the Devils didn't.
But then why did a lot of your fan base hyperfixate on Kaapo Kakko being better than Jack Hughes though?
I think because he was dominating in professional leagues overseas.
You're saying he played against men. He played against men.
Also, he was NHL ready.
I just want you to say that he played against men. That you're insinuating because he played against men, right? He played He played against men. That was all I heard for years. Like for an entire summer. That's all I put up with was Ranger fans saying, "Oh, Kakko played against men." The only time that argument has ever been used in the history of ever in like hockey prospect comparison. It's like, "Oh, he played against men."
Yeah, because the Rangers had Kristen Thomas, who dominated against in junior competition. And he did absolutely nothing in the professional leagues when he was starting to play against men.
Ty Smith for the Devils. He put up like 90 points.
Maybe he should have played against men then. Maybe he would have been better. Just a thought.
The Devils got John Marino for Ty Smith. I'm not really losing sleep over Ty Smith at this point.
Also, the Rangers have had far worse draft picks than draft picks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Kakko's not even that bad. He's like an actual good player. He is a good player.
Yeah, he's solid.
Very solid. He does a lot of great stuff. He's a puck possession machine and a playmaker. But like Rangers have had far worse draft picks.
Yeah.
In the first round, I can go. There is not enough time allowed in our time to go over the amount of terrible draft busts that they have Rangers have drafted under Glenn Sather. There's not enough time in the day. But anyways, Rangers keep winning in spite of them everything going wrong. Though apparently,
I can't deny anything either. I mean, you guys are just a really good team.
Though Jack Hughes might return on Saturday. By Saturday.
Oh, like the Undertaker theme starts playing.
Maybe maybe we just hold on to the puck the entire time.
I am not looking forward to Saturday. You guys are gonna destroy us. The Devils have actually been awful. Like with Hughes and Hischier out. Like every single time, like Devils fans bring up, like, oh, Jack and Nico are out. It's like, weren't we boasting all offseason about how we had stacked forward depth?
The Rangers are doing well with.
Although, granted, losing your top two centers is a bit different than losing two wingers or a center and a winger.
I will also say
it's a bit different than like losing the two most valuable people on your team.
The Rangers lost Igor Shesterkin for a week.
Yeah. The Rangers got two arteries. The Rangers lost two arteries too, and they've been winning.
Yeah. But I think the Devils are still going to be okay. But yeah, it does.
I think that there are issues on this team that have been going for the entire year that are making me greatly concerned. Like they can't play defense again. Like they had 1 year where they played good defense and then they just stopped doing it. Jonas Siegenthaler and John Marino have definitely stepped back in the defensive department. Simon Nemec hasn't come up yet for some reason. Colin Miller's still kind of hurt, I think. Brendan Smith, for some reason, is playing every night. Like I don't know why. Like
he can play forward too.
I'd rather have him play forward at this point because he can't play defenseman. I would. Oh my god! Like you got. Oh, dude! They keep falling behind in games. They aren't playing complete games. They've had one dominant showing this entire year. The Devils went in with the expectation that they'd be Stanley Cup contenders.
Are they not playing to the whistle?
They're not playing to the whistle.
No, wait, sorry. They're not playing to the intent of the whistle.
They're not playing a full 60 minutes. They've had too many first periods where they've had single digit shots. I have maybe seen like 2 games this year where the Devils have had like a dominant first period where I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, great start.
I'm doing great. And then that's how the Rangers have been bad in second periods this year.
The Devils have gone down 2-0, and then they kind of start to wake up a little bit. They have this freakishly good power play too. That's still scoring at 40% since Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier went down.
Oh man, wow. What power play merchants you are.
Yes, I know we're power play merchants. I know that, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I mean, sure, if we were treading water at 5-on-5 and we had an amazing goalie, like if we had the system that like the Rangers had, where we had a godlike goaltender and we had decent enough defense, yeah, we could survive with subpar 5-on-5 play and a freakishly good power play to bail us out. But Vitek Vanacek and Akira Schmid, as much as I kind of like them, they're not Igor Shesterkin.
Or even Jonathan Quick this year.
I don't know where did this come from?
Benoit Allaire, that's what it is. Benoit Allaire like just does something to the goalies.
The Devils don't ever since the Devils fired Chris Terreri. Like Chris Terreri did some things to the goalies, and like Corey Schneider, he came here, he was amazing.
He was good, yeah.
Oh my god! If you take prime Corey Schneider and put him on last year's Devils team, they probably win like 60 games.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like the Devils can play defense. They're being really sloppy. They're not hanging on to the puck. There are so many times they don't control possession. They're making mistakes. They're not playing with the same amount of discipline that they were playing with last year. Like last year's team takes a lot of these games and puts these teams in chokeholds. Like last year's team was genuinely fantastic. Like that was the greatest, it was the best team I ever saw. Now, honestly, if you put that team in the 2012 team in a 7-game series, it's a tough call in terms of Devils teams all time. Granted, the 2012 team had Marty Brodeur, and yeah, it's a little tough to score on that guy. Even when he was 40 years old, it was tough. But last year, it was genuinely great. And I'm seeing the same mistakes that they were making in like 2020. I'm seeing the same mistakes that they were making in 2019. Like it's a very similar situation, but the Devils have higher end talent in the forward group to cover up for those mistakes. When Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier were all together, like the Devils were 6-2, but they were winning these games by a goal, and they were winning these games because of their power play. They were winning these games because of the high end talent bailing out their poor structure and their mistakes.
I feel
it's like the NHL version of like the AB Juju Steelers, like who had insane issues but won close games because
they had high end talent.
Because they had high end talent.
Days of our Steelers.
Days of our Steelers. Okay, the Devils will never be a circus act to the point where they will be like Days of our Steelers. Bad, but they'll never be. But they're not good. This isn't a good team, and I know. And the good news is, in terms of like the big picture, it's still like early in the cup window. These forwards are locked up to long-term extensions, and they're in the earlier part of them. Nobody's getting like really old.
And you locked them up before the salary cap's supposed to go up too.
Yeah, we locked them up to like long-term team-friendly deals.
Except for Tyler Toffoli, but he's like a veteran.
I hope there's some way they can keep him on a.
I mean, you still have a lot of cap space.
Like on a friendlier deal. Like I want someone. Although a lot of the big cap space we had was used on
Timo Meier
and Jesper Bratt, which I think is very worth it.
Yeah, I would also agree.
Like and Timo Meier has goals in 3 straight games. I mean, he's been great. Like a lot of people were getting concerned. I'm like, oh, is he a fit here? But then he started scoring,
and he started scoring after Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier were out of the lineup.
Yeah, Timo Meier scored goals in 3 straight games with Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier out of the lineup. Michael McLeod is the Devils' #1 center right now.
Some would say, optimists would say, oh, Timo Meier stepping up. Pessimists would say, oh, he can't play with Nico or Hughes.
Oh, well, put him on the line with Michael McLeod then. Oh no, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, make that your third line.
The problem with that is, do you really want like $8 million to be on the third line?
I don't care as long as it's making the team.
That is true.
I don't care. Dude, Phil Kessel was on the third line on the Pens 2016 team.
On the HBK line, Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah, the HBK line. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Carl Hagelin, Nick Bonino, Phil Kessel.
2 of those 3 were Rangers at one point. Or Ranger. Who's it? Yeah. I feel like the Rangers are being bailed out by a lot of high-end talent too, even though they are playing well.
No. This year it's the structure.
Or they're being bailed out by Artemi Panarin partially a bit too.
The last 2 years, the Rangers were being bailed by high-end talent. They were being bailed by Zibanejad, Panarin, Kreider, Fox, Shesterkin. They were being bailed by them.
Yep.
Like there was a reason why the Devils. The reason the Devils beat the Rangers last year was because they were structurally better.
Yeah.
And they were structurally better. They had more overall talent. They were an overall better team at 5-on-5. And they happened to have a goalie who got hot and could contend with Igor Shesterkin. Did not play him, but definitely contended with them. Did more than enough, dude.
Well, also, also the Rangers just can't score on historically can't score on tall goalies. No matter how hard they try, they just
knowing the Devils Vanacek's going to start on Saturday.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
I don't know, dude. I don't trust the Devils. I trusted the Devils to make good decisions for 1 year. I can only trust my teams to be smart for 1 year. The Giants, I can trust them for 1 year. Yankees, 1 year. Devils, 1 year. More than that, no. I God forbid my teams are consistent.
I don't really trust my teams to make any good decisions sometimes. But the Rangers are also off for a week for some reason. I don't know why that was built into the schedule. Because
I think the Devils have a game tonight against Pittsburgh.
It doesn't matter what happens
tonight or tomorrow night.
It doesn't matter what happens until Saturday. The Rangers will still be in first place in the Metro by their next game.
Oh yeah,
which is the great part. Though we almost weren't because of. Well, no, it wouldn't even matter then either.
Yeah,
if we didn't get a point. Though the rest were trying to get CBJ to Columbus Blue Jackets at 2 points. They scratch and claw for the 1. I don't want to hear how Columbus is screwed either now.
Yeah.
After the
tomfoolery
that was happening.
All I know is that there's this Instagram account called The Puck Wave, and every single time the Blue Jackets lose, they post a clip from Tate McRae's song Greedy because of Cole Sillinger. Like Cole Sillinger and Tate McRae used to date. And might I say, Tate McRae could have done better in terms of hockey players and overall skill because Cole Sillinger is not that good.
Despite his father was playing for every team, Mike Sillinger. And the other thing about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Johnny Gaudreau is struggling, which I know you're happy to hear.
Hey, John Marino has more points than Johnny Gaudreau.
A lot of people have more points.
John Marino is the real Johnny.
Maybe they should trade Johnny Gaudreau for Jonathan Huberdeau. Maybe. Trade him back to Calgary. If it would be a fair trade, I would think. They need to change the scenery.
Oh my god, I remember when I wanted Johnny Gaudreau on the Devils.
He probably would be good for the Devils, though. Too.
He'd be playing with Jack Hughes, dude. Of course he'd be good.
Yeah. He's playing with Laine, though, too, who can absolutely shoot the puck.
Patrick Laine. Okay, I'm sorry. Am I the only one who kind of thought Patrick Laine was always overrated?
I mean,
he had that 1 year in Winnipeg where he scored 40
in his rookie year. His rookie year.
He had his rookie year, and then he had 2018.
Yeah,
his first 2. He had 2 really good years. I'm sorry, dude. Patrick Laine.
He can still shoot the puck. He has a lethal wrist shot. That's one of the best I've seen. But the thing I always
he's on the Blue Jackets.
And he went from Canadian Ohio and Winnipeg to
Ohio
to American Winnipeg.
Canadian Ohio to American Winnipeg.
Yeah, Winnipeg is the Ohio of Canada, and
you mean Manitoba?
Manitoba.
Provinces are way too big to be compared to states.
Yeah.
Ontario, I guess you could compare it to New York, but then you also have to compare it to DC.
Yeah. And Alberta's like the Texas.
Alberta's like
because of oil.
Texas, Oklahoma, the American South.
The American South. Yep. The Mid-South.
Except it's cold and it snows all the time.
Yep. I mean, they have the Oilers who struggle to do anything like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Oilers hired Chris Knobloch to be their new head coach, who was the Rangers
the Hartford Wolfpack.
The Hartford Wolfpack head coach. And also he was the coach who stepped in for David Quinn in 2021 on March 17th, where the Rangers manslaughtered the Flyers 9-0.
I don't think that qualifies as manslaughter. That's murder.
Bro, the limited fans that were there were chanting, "We want 10."
Yeah.
In the third period, halfway through the third period. It was one of the most dominant games I've ever seen the Rangers play in my life. It was special. But now I'm glad he's getting an opportunity to be a coach in the NHL level because he deserves it. And he coached McDavid in junior hockey too.
Oh, he was the Erie Otters head coach?
Yep, he was.
Really?
Though, if I'm Connor McDavid, I'm getting the heck out of Edmonton. Because they are... The Edmonton Oilers...
Hey, he signed the deal.
He did.
He signed the initial deal,
sign
dude.
the deal.
Hey, I don't want to hear about how I feel bad for a player if they sign the deal.
It's like how I feel about Mike Trout.
Like how I feel about Mike Trout. That's how I feel about Aaron Judge. That's how I feel about, although especially Mike Trout. Because like Mike Trout, he signed there. He wanted to be there. He could have gotten that money from literally
any
anybody.
other team.
Any team would have given him $500 million, which would have been a horrible investment with his injuries.
Well, he's had to carry the Angels on his back.
Now he's having back issues.
Poetic.
Yes.
And we have to do. We should. They have to do a deep dive like bad contracts, like of all time, and like all sport, like most sports.
Oh, maybe that's a topic for next week.
We still got to do a topic about Gary Bettman one of these days.
Yeah, Gary Bettman one of these days. We'll do bad contracts.
We'll do bad contracts and this ranking bad contracts.
I guess, should I address what Brian Cashman said about Giancarlo Stanton?
Yes, please do.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. So Brian Cashman, I'm gonna throw you in for a loop here. I'm not pissed about what Brian Cashman said. Because factually he was correct. And no, I kind of like the brutal honesty because that's what this organization needs. They need to be brutally honest about what they are.
I mean, they have the smallest analytics department in AL East.
I already went down that road last week. If you want to hear that, listen to the last episode. But like Brian Cashman said, like more likely than not, he's gonna be hurt, and which is true. And then it's like Yankee fans like reacted. It's like, don't say that about your player. Are you nuts? Meanwhile, we talk about Giancarlo Stanton getting hurt all the time, and we talk about how he needs to get traded, and we talk about how he's a bum.
Maybe Brian Cashman is competent.
No, Brian Cashman is not competent. He traded for that injury-prone player, but
and he was still good.
I'm saying, but like he's not wrong. And then the agent, I think his name is Jacob Wolf.
He's also the same agent as
the same agent as Yoshi Yamamoto. And he said that like if you got like he issued a warning to his clients saying that if you're gonna play in New York, you gotta have Teflon bones because you can't let your guard down even in the offseason. Meanwhile, dude, you won't have to let your guard down. Or like you would be able to let your guard down if you played well and showed up for us.
Or in Carlos Correa's case, if you had a leg.
Like, yeah, if you perform, we'll love you. If you don't, we'll hate you. It's simple. There are standards here. I mean, if you don't want to play somewhere where there are standards, you can go to Cleveland, go to Kansas City, go somewhere where they don't care about winning, where they don't care about a legacy, where all they'll do
you go to Oakland,
where all they'll do is cheer, no matter what. Like if you strike out 5 times in a game in New York, that gets you jumped on the subway after the game. But
that's what like Carlos Mendoza was saying, like in his introductory press conference. Like the fans will boo you when you're doing bad, but they'll cheer for you when you're doing really good.
Yeah, the cheering, it's earned. Meanwhile, if you strike out 5 times a game playing for the Kansas City Royals, you'll still get a golf clap. You'll get a golf clap for playing hard.
I feel like that might be
like, if you're a player who cares about winning, like if you're a player who doesn't care about winning, don't go to New York. I'm going to be honest. If you're a player who just cares about playing, padding individual stats, having your career, making your money, collecting your paycheck, and retiring and getting into the Hall of Fame, then yeah, you can play wherever you want. Play for the Rockies. Because
that's Chris Bryant's doing right now.
Yeah, dude, Chris Bryant. Not heard his name in years.
I forgot he existed until just this moment. Like, wait, he signed with the Rockies. That's right.
Yeah, if you want to have a nice, peaceful career where nobody will boo you, where the press will give you soft questions, or where there's not really that much of a press presence, then you can play in a smaller market. You can play for like the Diamondbacks. You can play for.
I mean, the Diamondbacks are a good team, though.
Yeah, they made it to the World Series. I know. But you can play for maybe the Marlins, where they don't really care about baseball. But bottom line is, in New York, we're not going to treat you well just because you put on the jersey. We pay good money, really, really good money to go to these games. If we don't get our money's worth, like I'm not one of those people who has a good day at the ballpark, even when my team loses. Win or lose, I had fun. I'm not one of those people who has fun, win or lose. I have fun when I win. I have fun when I win. I don't care. I am, unless it is in a context where I'm not really trying to win. Like, no, when I'm playing video games, I only have fun when I win. I don't care if this makes me look like a horrible sport. I'm not going to be proud of a losing product. I'm not going to be proud of someone who, just made it to the big league. I'm not going to be proud of that. As a fan, I'm not going to. Now, say as a human being, face to face, if I was sitting across from Sonny Gray, I'd be like, dude, you got guts. You made it to the bigs. If I was sitting across from a guy who I'd boo at the stadium, like face to face, as a human being, I'd be like, wow, you're a really nice guy. You're really respectable. That's really cool, man. As a fan, I'm gonna get on their case.
Well,
because we have standards here. What is it with all these players who all of a sudden are like, I don't want to play in New York. They boo us. We want to be called. Dude, you're a professional athlete. Do you not want to win?
You play to win a game.
Yeah. You play to win the game.
That's a great thing about sports. You play to win. But also, I wanted to ask, what if you witness a no-hitter, but it's the road team that gets in, you're in attendance?
I wouldn't be happy. I'd be pissed about it, but I'd be like, you know what? I witnessed history. But I went to a Yankee Red Sox game in 2018 when they lost 11-0. I was miserable. One of the worst nights of my life. I don't care if I was at Yankee Stadium. I don't care if I was in my quote-unquote happy place. It's only my happy place when they win.
I remember a quote saying like why it's bad to be a Yankees fan. Like, we got a new stadium, but it's still in the Bronx. They didn't make that place any nicer.
Yeah. The small area like around Yankee Stadium is nice.
Yeah, you don't want to get if you go further,
you go 1 block down,
2 blocks down.
2 blocks down. On your own. 2 blocks down. You don't want to be there.
Nope. Not one bit. And
in the 70s, the area like close to Yankee Stadium was bad. Well, it was the 70s in New York.
When did they start renovating like the old stadium in the 70s? Like
I don't know. Mid-60s.
Because I know because the Yankees did play a couple years at Shea during the renovation.
Yeah, the mid-70s. And it was before Reggie Jackson got there.
And at one point, the Mets, Yankees, Jets, and Giants were all playing at Shea Stadium.
Wow.
The field got torn up. Got messed up.
Oh yeah, and those were bad Giant years too.
Yeah,
the Joe Pisarcik. Oh, that was bad. Dude, you wanna give our parents goosebumps? Just bring up Joe Pisarcik. No, my dad texted me during the Giant game on Sunday, and he's like, "This is worse than the '70s," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah,"
Ooh.
but like, even though coming from him, I'm like, "Oh wow, that's how you know it's bad." When like your dad starts texting you saying that this is worse, I'd rather watch the Joe Pisarcik Giants. For those of us our age who don't know who Joe Pisarcik was, exactly, that's my point. He was horrible.
Yeah.
Even most people our age who are kind of football fans can tell you who Phil Simms was.
Yeah. I mean, okay, he's on the CBS panel.
Yeah, he's on the desk. He's not doing the games. He's not Tony Romo. Tony Romo stole Phil Simms' job.
Basically.
Dude, you want to talk about an upgrade? Going from Phil Simms to Tony Romo.
With Tony Romo, when Patrick Mahomes play, I could do without.
No, Chris Collinsworth. Any color commentator does that to Mahomes. Maybe it's marching orders from the league.
Yeah. And the referees probably have marching orders too.
Oh, yeah.
Again, why I think officiating is terrible.
Oh, yeah. They obviously got marching orders from the league on who to be lenient toward.
Yeah, I'm just...
Like, you got to think in, like, the few weeks where they were pushing Taylor Swift. You got to figure Travis Kelce got away with a lot of, like, OPI and illegal contact and all that.
But, you know, the refs are supposed to be impartial, I thought.
They're not impartial. They will never be impartial.
If you look at them wrong, they'll probably call a penalty on you.
Oh, yeah. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes, then you can shove one to the ground and spit in their face.
We need another, like, someone to break news of, like, referees gambling on the game, like they did to, like, Tim Donahue.
Yeah, Tim Donahue.
Donahue. They need another, like case. Because it would make a lot of sense.
Oh, no, I'm sure with, like, all the sports books being intertwined with sports leagues now, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
So, like, DraftKings, FanDuel,
Caesars,
like, to all those giant sports books who have multi-billion-dollar deals with their leagues, I wouldn't be shocked if they're given marching orders.
I mean, that's why they have reviews. A lot of it. I've heard from like one of my high school teachers who refs like basketball games. They do reviews because a lot of it is because of betting and the spread, and partially to get the play right. Sure, getting the play right.
It's solely not because the sportsbook would pocket like $1 billion that day.
Yep.
Instead of having to pay it out.
It's the craziest thing. They have video review.
They pocket $1 billion instead of having to pay out $10 billion.
Again, yeah, they have video review and they still get it wrong sometimes. As I would know.
Yeah.
Why even have video review then if you're not even gonna get it right? Or spend 5 long minutes of doing nothing, and then only say, "Oh, nothing's gonna change on the play."
All right, I think that's enough for us today. I'm tapped out.
I can still say why I think NHL referees are the worst. I can keep going.
Do you wanna? I mean, we've only got like 9 minutes left.
Oh, that's I can probably get some of that more. What are some bad rules in hockey?
Intent to blow the whistle. I hate. No, I can.
Okay, bad rules.
The delay of game penalty is really wonky at times.
What's a kick?
Yeah. The distinct kicking motion.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Skillfully redirecting the puck into the net, as I've heard some commentators call it. Like he skillfully kicked the puck in, and that's not a goal then. And they still call it a goal against the Rangers too. By the way, Will Cooley got should have 2 more goals this year, but he's been. I guess he has some beef with the referees or Toronto because he's had 2 of his goals called off this year. one for deflect for kicking the puck. Okay. He did not make any sort of kicking motion. And I want to know what the heck Chris Neil did in 2012. Oh, that wasn't a kick. When he was doing this to the puck in the crease. Or what Mark Stone did like one time to the Rangers, or what Blake Coleman did at the Rangers like last year. What was that? What were they doing that wasn't kicks? I have to know. Oh, and goalie interference. The entire 2014 Stanley Cup final. You couldn't tell me like what I couldn't tell you what goalie interference was because they kept freaking hitting into Henrik Lundqvist and preventing him from save, and then they would score. I'm so mad about that to this day. How bad the officiating was in 2014 in the finals with goalie interference. My brothers say they have a problem with the offsides reviews. I don't know how you feel about that.
If it doesn't affect the play,
yeah,
it should only be on the zone entry where the goal was scored.
We need another like Roger Nielsen type coach who will just like bend the rules to like any like just really stretch out the meaning of the rules. At least three rules are in the rule book because of Roger Nielsen.
What rules change because of Roger Nielsen?
Constantly putting on too many men on the ice.
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't stop play because you can't go down any further than three skaters. I think if you do that intentionally, you get like a penalty shot. Oh, and penalty shots, you now have to have a goalie in net, and the goalie has to stay in the crease as well before the player touches the puck and when he's going for this penalty shot. Because what Roger Nielsen would used to do, he would put in the defenseman, and they would just skate up to the player and just swipe the puck away. Oh, and you can't leave your goalie stick in front of the goal line on an empty net. He would do that, yeah. He would tell his goalie to leave his stick just across the goal line when they were pulling the goalie. There's a lot of whole other things, but he did introduce the waving of the towel waving like trend.
That's
awesome. Because in protest of the officiating, and then the fans like all brought in towels in support. But now that's like a whole thing.
Yeah, rally towels.
The rally towels.
The terrible towel started with the Roger Nielsen was the Leafs coach, right?
He was a lot of coach. He coached a lot of play. He coached with the Leafs. He coached with the Canucks, and he coached with the Rangers. I know that much. Roger Nielsen is in the Hall of Fame as a builder. In the same way as Gary Bettman is, as a builder. Though if you would ask me, Gary Bettman is being a builder is the most misuse of the title, to say the least. He's the guy who's canceled more hockey games than any other player, any other like person in his history. But he's the builder. The guy who cancels hockey games more regularly than. But yeah, again, we'll have the Gary Bettman episode one of these days.
Yeah,
one of these days. I have an axe to grind with Gary Bettman. That there might not even be enough time. That's how much I hate Gary Bettman, and you hate Gary Bettman as well.
Oh yeah, I hate Gary Bettman.
That'll be an episode at one point.
All right,
but I think that's it for today.
Yeah, that's it for today. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. For those who did tune in, even for like a little bit of time.
And the replay watchers too.
Yeah, the replay watchers, y'all are real ones. Anyways, this has been Ball Knowers from Luke Dolan.
NHL referees suck.
I am Cameron Woolley, signing off.
Have a good day.